wellness. Come to smoke cannabis. Doctor say make a pop one of this. Make me fly like say I'm Aladdin. Come bring some kind melodies. Oh, mommy, myself no do past like this. So many things inside of my jeans. I slide down the beatings, the beatings.
Good afternoon and welcome back from lunch. I get accosted all the time because I'll say we're getting back at a particular time and then we don't. And I get dragged just here. Not the kind of roasting that happened, but yes, I get dragged. So can we have everybody seated? And those of you in the back, kindly move forward, please. So let's all move forward and fill up the seat here in the front. Kindly, all of you in the back, please move to the front. Okay, I still see people in the back. Please move to the front. While you're migrating, I had a conversation with Franchone, and she was telling me about how, so Jack, who was early on the podium at some point during this event, he had apparently had a conversation with, I think, one of the hotel staff, and he had explained nuclear energy to the person, and the person was so excited, or came back to look for Jack. Was that today? Went back to look for Jack. Jack wasn't around. But I met Franchone and was telling Franchone how she had become a convert because of the explanation Jack gave. And so Franchone is saying, what we probably should all do is to begin to have some of these conversations. So all the people in the room, you should be having conversations, random conversations with random people, and explain to them what nuclear energy is all about. That's how we can get to convert people, so that they don't have to wait to be listening to some speeches or some news event, but in our day-to-day interactions with people, let's spread the nuclear gospel, nuclear energy gospel to them. All right, now that I have just about everybody seated, you know, I'm sure by now you know that we're going to Rwanda. Usains is going to Rwanda next year. And we're glad to have our host for next year come speak to us and hopefully excite us about what to expect in Rwanda, the land of 1,000 hills. So please, with a round of applause, let's welcome Dr. Lassina Zerbo, chairperson of the Rwanda Atomic Energy Board, to give us the Usains 2025 post statement.
Thank you, Israel. Good afternoon, everybody. I know it's always hard to come after lunch and listen to anybody, by the way. But I think when you soon see why it was still important to come through a video that I've asked a bright young lady to source so that you can see where you're going next year, I think it will certainly wake you up. Yes, the next conference is in Rwanda, but let me take this opportunity to thank Ghana for a wonderful first summit in Accra, to thank Kenya for a fantastic job in gathering all the Africans towards a topic that is dear to us. A topic that is dear to us, and then I was listening to the South African lady on the panel when she said, what if we didn't have regulatory bodies, the risk? And when she said it, I was thinking, but what if Africa didn't go for nuclear energy? Or should we say, could we embrace and achieve social, economic, and industrial development in the continent without nuclear energy? I'm sure the answer will be, at this stage of the global affairs, it's no. So if it's no, I think it's our responsibility to make sure our government are fully part of it. Because without a full government support, we will never achieve all what we're talking about. Government needs to be part of it, the policymakers. And for the government to be part of it, the government needs to be accompanied by the parliament. I've seen in many countries that I've visited, parliamentarians are wondering, what are you talking about? Why nuclear energy? And you've seen, as we talk about nuclear energy on the Africa-US summit, media are still wondering if Kenya should go for that. So it's our responsibility to make sure the civil society in Kenya feel free and embrace nuclear energy in a way we're foreseeing our social economic development. The next point I want to mention before I talk about Rwanda is that I'm involved in this thing not in competition with anybody. I often say at this stage of my career and what God has allowed me to do, I'm competing with myself for the continent. That's all. I'm not after a position. I'm not after a specific job. I'm after the job that I do. It's convincing young people, convincing government officials that this is the way to go. And this is the only way to go. Because I believe in it. I believe we will not achieve any industrial development in Africa and then be in sync with the issue of climate change if we don't go that route. And that's why I invite all of you, as we all thank dearly Ghana and thank dearly Kenya, I invite you next year to Rwanda for a theme that is on the SMRs. SMRs because I personally believe they're more suitable for our continent. They're flexible, fast, they can be built off-site and then brought into the country and then give us the necessary framework to embark in a much larger nuclear facility. And this is why I was talking yesterday about the micro-reactors. So we now will be talking in Rwanda about the micro and the small reactors. Because Rwanda has definitely embarked at the early stage and made a decision, and the decision at the highest level, that it will go for a small modular reactor. Yesterday, Fidel has said clearly how we've embarked in a capacity development and capacity building framework to make sure we have the necessary expertise to localize what we will be absorbing from the international community or our international partners. And Fidel said as well, you're all welcome if you are in the nuclear field. And then you haven't reached the level where you are absorbed professionally in your own country, come and join us. If we can afford you financially, you will be part of the team to making sure we develop the SMR the quickest possible. And I also want to thank the US government for what they're doing, being part of the nuclear game in Africa. I was very much impressed by Commissioner Wright when he was talking about regulatory, the independence of regulatory bodies. And then I was tempted to ask him a question. I said, by the way, Commissioner Wright, do you know how that could be difficult in the end in Africa? Because the regulatory bodies in Africa start at an early stage where people are funded or set up by the government and basically for the government until they find it difficult to become independent. So maybe one of the responsibilities that we should have is to make sure we create a framework where your partnership and your assistance could be a way to help the African country to set up independent bodies that the government will respect. And that's where my role comes in. For having dealt with many at the highest level, I think I can help in that. The same way I'm helping to convince that nuclear energy is the way to go. So Commissioner Wright, I've learned a lot by your talk today. And then I was thanking our Mauritian American young lady that she did a very impressive moderation. So having said that, Alicia working, I would say a few months, not working, talking. She's telling me that she might lose how many pounds? 50 pounds. Alicia started talking to me about this initiative in Rwanda. And when I told her it would happen, she was wondering whether I was joking or not. But we start having a group chat. We're talking daily. And then when she doesn't respond, she will get a call. I will insist, because she knows when I say I do something, I do it. And this is how it is in Rwanda. And I wanted the same to be in Burkina Faso, because I'm from Burkina Faso. But as I said the other day, the same way from Burkina Faso I get to work in Rwanda, I want all of you in Africa so that we merge and interact and share and work together, because in the end, we're working for the continent and then for our industrial development. So Alicia, thank you. Thanks to you, but you said yesterday it's not only you, it's all your team. So thanks to the whole team that have made it possible, this US-Africa summit. And Rwanda will be a summit. A summit. Thank you. Welcome to Rwanda.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Arthur Koteng, board member of NUPEA, and I'm going to give the host remarks at this particular juncture. And before I say that, as a participant of this summit, I have my takeaways, things that I saw that are very positive, and I thought I could make a remark out of them. I'm happy for the US, because they're giving us opportunities for growth, and I think we need to embrace that and take it. Because where there's a will, there's a way, we'll always find it. For electricity, whichever model you get, eventually, even if it is allowed, you'll be able to repay it, because you'll be selling something. There's a Swahili saying that says, ukishikwa, shikamana. The meaning is that when you are being assisted, like US has come to right with our front doors, we should take that opportunity, not let it go. So that is a takeaway. I've seen that. I was happy to see that Ghana had signed a commercial agreement. That is a good way forward. And as for Rwanda, I was very much impressed that their government has taken 350 people out of the country to go and study and come back to take care of the nuclear program. We also told about South Korea. They started in a very small way. Now they've really grown into a first world country, and I think we can emulate them. Right now, the phone in my pocket is a Samsung from Korea. I've seen Hyundai and others, so we can see what is there ahead. We are beginning something now, but the future is very good. Just look at South Korea and other countries. South Korea is even now exporting their technology out to other countries. So take heart, we take advantage of the opportunities that are there, and let us move forward. Let us grow together as Africa. So I'm going to read a paper that should have been read by President, Prime Minister, Minister, Principal Secretary, but they're not available for some reason. So excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I bring you greetings and apologies from the Cabinet Secretary, Principal Secretary, Board Chairperson, and the Chief Executive Officer, who are not here today, but are attending a presidential function. I'm delighted to join you as we conclude the second edition of the United States of America, Africa, Nuclear Energy Summit, which brought together the United States of America and African policymakers, technical experts, industry leaders, to address critical issues impacting industry readiness and the future of nuclear energy on the continent of Africa. The conversations and deliberations that have been held under these summit's proceedings are a true testament to us staying true to the cause in a joint approach with the assistance of strategic development partners like the US. Indeed, the adoption of the nuclear technology to complement the other viable energy sources, and more so as a decarbonization strategy in the energy sector in the medium to long term, remains a shared vision across the African continent. Ladies and gentlemen, as deliberated in the summit, capacity building remains a key focus for the continent as we embark on nuclear technology. I'm certain that through the interactive sessions, guided by the experts, the practical knowledge disseminated based on years of experience will go a long way in addressing the challenges around the three key issues of human capital development, stakeholder engagement, and financing of the nuclear power plants. We appreciate the efforts made by the embarking African nations who are at different levels of development and implementation of their programs. On these issues, it proves that, yes, we can. This summit also sought to generate conversations around having a continental industrial sector that is alive to the benefits accrued with the introduction of nuclear power. The lessons based on the US nuclear power journey, an assessment of the African continental industrial readiness, and an exploration of feasible mechanisms for managing the supply chain were enriching. I hope that we have all emerged with tangible resolutions based on the shared lessons and best practices. I will urge all the stakeholders present to work on modalities of translating the resolutions into a continental strategy of developing an industrial sector that supports the introduction of nuclear energy, and eventually one can benefit from the resultant secure, reliable, and affordable energy. Nuclear power and industry relationship is indeed symbolic and quite essential for the African continental socioeconomic transformation agenda. In ensuring that none is left behind, onboarding the women and youth at the decision-making table and making sure that their voices are heard, and more so to be understood, is a matter of urgency, priority, and with the emerging nuclear industry, we have a golden chance to start on the right footing. Safety, security, and non-proliferation is key to the continental approach to nuclear technology. And we are confident that the partnership with the advanced nuclear power country will enable the embarking countries in the continent to safely regulate and operate their nuclear power plant. In all this, it is paramount that we pay close attention to requirements for a clean, secure, and responsible nuclear regime for industrial integration. The role of international partners in supporting African industries to navigate this new landscape cannot be overemphasized. We witnessed the signing of the US-Ghana commercial agreement in this meeting, which is a forward-thinking move with great intentions. I want to thank the United States for showing the willingness to hold our hand and for being a truthfully listening partner and a responder for our mutual benefit. Ladies and gentlemen, Let us all remain steadfast in the quest for the deployment of nuclear technology interventions across all sectors for the benefit of mankind by actioning the resolutions, lessons, and observations brought forth in the summit. Let me thank the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, the U.S. Department of Energy, Regional Clean Energy Training Center, Nuclear Power and Energy Agency, and the USANES 2024 planning team for the delivery of the second US-Africa Nuclear Energy Summit experience to us all. Let me also thank all the delegates that accepted our invitation to be here in Nairobi to share, listen, and interact. As we conclude this summit, I invite you all to extend your stay in Kenya and take time and enjoy our remarkable attractions across the country. Diverse sceneries, ancient hills, deserts, coral reefs, wildlife, history, and different cultures. Wishing all a safe journey back to your respective homes, and see you next year at USANES 2025 in Kigali, Rwanda, when we are a step closer to achieving the nuclear power dream. Asanteni sana. And since this summit is closing in Nairobi, I'm going to Kigali, Rwanda. I think we need to do a gesture to show that we are moving. It's not closed. We are simply moving from Nairobi to Kigali, Rwanda next year. So I want to call the Rwandese head of delegation to please come on stage so that I can pass on the torch. It's a line.
Oh. Thank you very much, Arthur Koteng. He's a NUPIA board member. We appreciate the hospitality we've enjoyed here in Kenya very much. All right, we are going to be taking a coffee break. Now, while we're taking the coffee break, there's a closed press event, so that's closed. So it's only the people who are supposed to be there who are going to be there. So that's going to happen. So we're taking the coffee break, but we'll come back for some concluding comments. So we're taking the coffee break. Please enjoy your coffee. And those of us who are going to be at the closed press event, let's head there. All right. So I will see you back here in the hall. All right. Oh, your coffee break is for 30 minutes. Okay, so it's, let's say we're back here, okay, 2:40. That works. All right, please enjoy your coffee. In the meantime, we can have, so that's the video of Rwanda and what we're going to expect, or what we can expect, look forward to in Rwanda, the land of 1,000 hills.